All right, so let's try this again. So we're going to generate our floors, our other floors. We already have the lower level, and then we're going to put a staircase in. We're going to cut some holes between the floors, and we should be pretty ready to get this thing done. I don't know why my rotate's not working. That's okay. My orbit wasn't working. All right, so currently what we have is we have our lower level floor. We're going to go ahead and generate our entry level, our upper level. We're going to create a roof plane, and then we are ultimately going to conclude with putting our stairs in and cutting the holes. So let's go to our entry level in our project browser. So this is our middle floor. I'm going to go ahead and create a floor. If you guys remember, we created a floor called MicroLiving lower level floor plan, and we gave that an overall thickness of 6 inches. So what we actually need to do is we're actually going to regenerate another MicroLiving floor, but this one we're going to make it 12 inches. So we're just going to call this MicroLiving. We can say entry and upper level floors, so we can call it that. So the first thing I'm going to do is a lot of this is going to seem like repeat to you guys, but that's part of it, just building the habit, right? So edit type, we're going to hit duplicate on this, and this one here I'm just going to call it MicroLiving dash entry and upper level floors, and at the end I'm going to get rid of the number 2. Okay, so again, just kind of naming this MicroLiving hyphen entry and upper level floors. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit the skinny edit, and for the thickness of this floor, we're going to change it from 6 inches to 12 inches or 1 foot, however you want to type it in. We're changing this to 1 foot, and then we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK again. So now if we look up here in our property palette, we should have a new floor in there listed, and it should say MicroLiving dash entry and upper level floors. That's the one that we want to do. And to kind of repeat what we were doing before, we're going to use this pick wall. So quite simply, I'm just going to click on the perimeter of this. 1 foot, Elijah. So 12 inches or 1 foot. And once I've selected all 4 walls, you should see like a kind of a purplish plum colored square around the inside. No, the other one would have been 12, or the other one would have been 6 inches. We'll get you straight if you need to. And then once I have this, I'm just going to hit OK. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there. It says, do you want to cut it? I can say yes. Let me just check it in 3D. Looks beautiful. All right, so I'm going to pause right there, let you guys create that. I'm going to step through that entirely one more time while you guys are doing it. So let me go back to my floor button. First thing I would do is I would hit edit type. I got to make sure that I have my original MicroLiving floor selected. So I would have the one that said lower level. I would hit edit type. I'm going to hit duplicate. Again, I'm going to change the name of this one to MicroLiving entry and upper level. Okay. And then I would hit OK. Then I'm going to hit my skinny edit button. And you'll see here it says structure. It used to say 6 inches. Now I'm going to make it say 12 inches. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm basically going to click around the inner sections of this wall. Then I'm going to hit my check mark. I'm going to hit cancel since I already have a floor, but you guys would hit your check mark. And it'll come up with a little box that says, do you want to cut it? You will hit yes. So let's double check and see what we did. If I go to my floor plan, it's kind of hard to see right now because I'm in the shaded mode. I can change the view mode to hidden or wireframe. I'm going to actually change it to wireframe. and you guys should be able to see it's a little hard to understand, but I've got a lower level floor and I've got an entry level floor thus far. So now we got to create our upper level floor, and then we got to create our roof plane. So let's now go to we'll click on our upper level in our project browser. And next we are going to hit floor again. Now this one's pretty easy because guess what? By default now it's our last one. So it says entry and upper floor level. Quite simply, I'm just going to check around all four walls. If you guys see what I'm doing, I'm consistently clicking the vertical first. Okay, and again, that was to kind of repeat what Maggie was talking about. It shows me which way the span of the joists are going. Really not important for what we're doing, but in future projects, that becomes something that you need to understand. This will be the way that your floor joists are going top to bottom. So I got all four walls selected, hit OK. It says, do you want to trim out overlapping? Yes, I do. Hit OK. And I'm going to look at it in 3D again. Boom. And now you can see I've generated another floor. So I've got a lower level floor, entry, upper, and then we're going to create a roof here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, let you guys get that worked out. And Elijah, I will jump back. As soon as we're done going through everything, I'll hop back in with you and we'll see what we can figure out for yours. Give me a high five when you guys got the section done. All right. I'll give another 30 seconds and then we'll show them to the roof. All right. So we're ready to crank away on the roof here. So we're going to double click on roof. In fact, I need to look at something real fast just to refresh my memory. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're going to go back to roof. And you guys should have the same thing I have on your screen, which is absolutely nothing. There's a reason for that. And I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna fix it here in just a moment. When I'm on the upper level, by default, this was part of our template. So what happens is Revit sort of already had a bunch of these settings already set. Remember, we created the roof ourselves. Remember, that wasn't one of the default ones. We actually drew a datum line. And one of the settings in here is going to say underlayment. And if you look here, or underlay, if you scroll through this list over here, and you kind of keep going somewhere on this thing, where it says underlay, it says range, base level. Right now it's selected as none. So I'm actually going to have to go in here and modify this to say I want the base range to be the upper level. So what that basically does is it takes that plan and allows me to look down, even though we're working in the up direction. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's this little section over here that says underlay. You need to change the section that says base level, change that to be the one that says upper level. And what you should see is you should see your floor plan pop up. It'll be grayed out. It'll be very light. It's like it's not even there. It will be there. Is good with that? Okay. All right, so let's do the roof button. So if you look under the architecture tab, there's a little button here that looks like a roof. It's before you get the floor. It just looks like a little L-shaped Tetris piece. We're going to go ahead and hit that. A couple things that I'm going to share with you guys is there's some things up here that says define slope and overhang. We're going to change one of them. We've got to make a modification first. So if I look at this, I already have a basic roof generic 12-inch selected. So rinse, wash, and repeat like we've been doing. We're going to hit edit type. We're going to hit duplicate. And you guys could probably guess what we're going to call this, but we're going to call it MicroLiving dash roof. And we're going to hit OK. We're going to hit our skinny edit. We're going to change our thickness to 6 inches and hit OK. So again, we basically went into the generic 12-inch. We hit duplicate. We typed MicroLiving dash roof. And then we changed it to, we hit the skinny edit button. We changed the structure from 1 foot to 6 inches. And we hit apply or hit OK. We hit OK again. And we should be out at this section here. How did I get this gray? Marina's asking how I got my floor plan to show up. So before I entered the roof command, are you in the roof command right now? Okay, so you'll have to hit the little X on the roof. Here, I'll do it with you real quick. Bear with me, guys. So over here in the properties palette, if you select nothing, like literally click off of your plan, you should see it says floor plan at the top. Okay, so scroll down to the section that says underlay. You see underlay right here? You should see these. You do? Okay, so the top one says base level under underlay. Change that base level to say upper level. And then everything should pop up and work. You get it? Change it to upper level. You good? Okay. All right, guys. So let me hop back in here. I'm going to go back to my roof. This should basically be where you guys are. Oh, hold on. I got to recreate my roof. So I'm going to hit edit type again. I'm redoing this. Duplicate. MicroLiving dash roof. Skinny edit. 6 inches. Okay. Okay, so Elijah's asking, how do we get the properties tab back, the properties palette back if he accidentally closed his? You do that by hitting the view tab up here, and then you go all the way on the right-hand side, and there'll be a button that says user interface. Pull that down, and there should be a checkbox next to the one that says properties that's not checked. Okay, so I've got my roof here, and one thing has to happen before you guys start clicking. See this little button that says define slope? We are actually going to uncheck the button that says define slope, and that's on your options bar right here. So we're going to uncheck that so it should be blank. Overhang should be set to 0. Extend to wall core should not be checked. We should basically have nothing in this options bar. And what I'm going to do is, just like I've done a million times, I'm literally going to click around the outside perimeter of this building. Again, I started with the vertical again. I went clockwise around my building. I have a plum-colored ring going around my building. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to look at my building in 3D. And I'm actually going to turn mine back on shaded so that you guys can see everything. And as you can see, I've generated my beautiful MicroLiving cube, the most impressive piece of architecture any one of you have ever seen. We're all happy. We've done our cubes. Nobody can get in or out, but we've got 3 floors and a roof. So Elijah, to re-answer your question, if you needed to find it, it's under View. It's under User Interface. And guys, this is something that you all need to remember. Just if you want to just take note of this, if you ever lose one of your palettes that you need, it's simply the View button, User Interface, and then there's a checkbox for the ones that you may have lost. Or if you even close like anything like down here, if you accidentally close this, you can bring it back. All right. Now, at this point, we have 3 floors. We have our lower floor, our entry level, our upper level. We've created 1 roof. What you got, Nick? Box that we unchecked went away. This fine slope. So if you've already created your roof, it will go away. Did you already create your roof? So do you need to change something, or is it okay? Hit the little X button and go back in the roof and redo it. It should come back. All right, guys. So we now have our project pretty much where we need it to be. Okay, so we've got our 3D project. I hope you guys do me a favor again. I hate to keep asking you guys to do it, but I like calling it a high five. So give me a high five if you're at the same spot as me. Or really.
Sorry, can I just ask what we did in the last like 20 minutes?
Yeah, we've gone through and we created like our floor systems for our entry level and our upper level, and then we also created a roof. What I'm gonna do, Alana, is I'm actually recording this one, so I'll pop it up onto that YouTube channel when we're done, and then you can kind of redo this whenever you have a little time today, if that's okay. I would say just kind of follow
Yeah.
along. Just follow along as best as you can. You're going to be a little bit behind, but I can't go back. We'll get you there. I'll put the video up and you'll be fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I can't find the user interface tab. When you hit view, can you see all the way over here on the right hand side? You don't see that, or is it cut off? It's just too far over.
When I click it, there's only like 5 little icons, not the whole bar.
It's not.
And I have
So are you using a really small monitor, or do you have like, is your like screen really like split up? Is that? I think what happens is I think a lot of you guys are trying to do. I know what you're trying to do, and I don't have a better solution, but like I feel like a lot of you guys have like the window open like this big, and then you have the meeting open over here, and you're trying to do both. So I appreciate you trying to do both. It's just really, really hard. You kind of need to stretch Revit out to be able to get more of the information. So see if you can stretch it out to get it.
it's all the way stretched and I can't see it.
Still can't see it? Okay. Are you using a Mac or a Windows?
Mac.
Mac. Click. Hold on. I got to think about this for a second. Hold on. Take me a second to figure it out. How do I do this?
Never mind, I got it.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to figure it out and I was failing. Now I got to figure out my thing. How do I do full screen? Doesn't matter. There we go. Okay. All right. So Mackenzie got it. Sorry. Now, how do we? Elijah, you probably have another. So remember, over on the right-hand side, probably a tab opened up way on the right-hand side that says like create a roof. Hit the red X on that, or hit the check mark. I'm not sure where you're at in the process, but you've got some sort of other like modify command up and open over here. Not modify, but some sort of create. You have something right here. Like if you're in the midst of a roof, doesn't matter. If you're in the midst of a roof and you happen to click off, everything's grayed out. If you go back to this tab, you'll have a red X or a check mark, and you just have to kind of pick one or the other. All right, guys. So now we're actually going to create a staircase that goes from our lower level to our up to our entry level, and then we're going to create one to go from our entry level up to our upper level. And then we're going to go back and show you how to cut a hole in the floor so that your staircase actually works. Okay, so we got a little bit of work left to do. We got about 15 minutes to kind of complete this. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on my lower level. And you guys should all be on your lower level as well. And you will notice that there's a button here that says stair. Now, I know Revit's really complex, okay? But we're going to do something we've done before. We're going to hit the edit type button. We're going to hit a button that says duplicate. And this one is no longer going to be called 7-inch max riser, 11-inch tread. We're going to call this MicroLiving stairs. See, I'm making this really complex on you guys, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Now, I want to real quickly just talk about stairs and the complexity of them and just a really quick little overview of code, okay? Commercial staircases. So when you think schools, you think the public library, you think Columbia Mall, you think blah, 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 right? The rules for commercial stairs in most jurisdictions have a maximum riser height of 7 inches. Means every step vertically only elevates you 7 inches off the floor at the very, very max. Additionally, every tread where your foot lands, your tread is 11 inches. That's a standard staircase for a commercial application. I don't want you guys to change this, but I'm going to show you what it is for a residential application. It is 7 3/4 by 10 inches. That's a standard residential application in this area. It's different in other places, et cetera, et cetera. It used to be, 20 plus years ago, it used to be 8 1/4 inches by 9 inches. And some of you guys, if you guys have friends that have a brand new house that you've been to their house, if you've ever noticed their steps are a little bit, I want to use the word nicer, or a little bit nicer to kind of climb. If you live in a little bit of an older house, you might go, man, my steps are a lot steeper. And the reason why is that your height's actually a little taller and your treads are a little narrower. What they've kind of figured out was that they needed to be reduced a little bit. The problem with reducing the height and increasing the length is that staircase is a lot longer and typically it takes more steps to get to the right height. So what I'm going to say for MicroLiving is I'm not really going to give you guys a ton of rules for your step, okay? Because the MicroLiving project is so small that you're going to want something that's a little steeper that wouldn't really meet code, right? We're not really going to meet code. I would tend to tell you that you could probably go as high as 12 inches, which would be a big step to make. If you think about stepping up 1 foot at a time, for taller folks, it's not that bad. For shorter folks, you might look at that and go, 1 foot's a hard stride. It's doable. The reason why I'm going to give you guys a little bit of freedom on this is because you tend to think more like steeper or ladder-ish is okay in this sort of setting. Would this meet current building codes? Absolutely not. This would fail miserably. But we're not going to worry. We're going to kind of ignore that part of the code and save you guys some space, because otherwise the staircase is going to take up half of the amount of space you have. So we're going to shrink this thing down. So what I'm going to tell you, and you're going to want to modify this based on your particular project. For this example, we're actually going to set the maximum riser height to 12 inches. We're going to set the minimum tread depth to 7 inches. So we're actually almost reversing it. So we're going to go 1 foot for the maximum riser height, and the minimum tread depth is going to be 7 inches. The next thing we're going to do is staircase width. So this is how wide it is from wall to wall. It's how wide your steps are. In a standard residential type project, even commercial type project, minimum width on any staircase is 3 feet. We are not going to hold you to that rule again. I am going to tell you, you have options for this. No less than 2 feet. When you guys do it, no less than 2 feet. For this example that we're doing today as a group, we're going to make it 2'6". So I'm going to type in 2'6". So the 3 settings I've changed here was, one, we named it MicroLiving Stairs. We gave it a riser height of 1 foot. We gave it a tread depth of 7 inches. And we gave the minimum run width 2'6". That's all we've got. That's all we need. We're not going to change anything else. I'm not going to get into any of this other stuff with you guys. We're just going to hit OK. Now, let me step through this without trying to confuse you guys. I'm going to do multiple staircases real quick, okay? The first thing I want you guys to look at over here in the properties palette is it says, what is the base level? Base level is the lower level. Where do I want the top level of my staircase to be? I want it to go up to my entry level, okay? That's legit. It means I'm going from the lower level to the middle level. So I'm going to show you how to generate a set of steps. Again, don't do this quite yet, okay? I just want you to watch because I'm going to show you multiple ways of doing this. So the first way is I'm just going to click a spot, and I'm going to start dragging it. And you can see here on my screen, it says 10 risers created, 0 risers remaining. And the longer I make this, it doesn't change the staircase. You guys can see that. Now, check this out. If I do it really short, it says 3 risers created, 7 remaining. 4 risers created, 6 remaining, etc., etc. So I could quite simply draw that. Then I got to hit the check mark. And it just generated a staircase. Okay, that's method 1. Created a very short run staircase. Again, more like a ladder, but we made it work. Let me do another one because I want to show you what you can do with this. I'm going to do stairs again. This time I'm going to go up, say, 3 risers. Then I want to kind of like turn the staircase to go the other direction. Okay, now I'm not a big fan of this because I got this huge landing up here that looks really awkward, right? So what I can do is I can quite simply grab this. I'm just going to use my arrow keys. You can see I'm sort of just nudging this thing a little bit closer, make it look more like a regular staircase. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. Let's just pretend that I wanted this to come down a little bit because I do want this landing to be a little bit. So I can use my arrow keys to modify my staircase. When I get it where I want it, quite simply, I hit the OK button. Now I've created an L-shaped staircase. Let me do one more. I'm going to go up 2 steps. I'm going to come over, and I'm going to go 2 here, and I'm going to kind of do one more and do my last 2 right here. Whoops, I didn't mean to get an angle on there, but it's okay. Actually, hold on. I didn't mean to hit the angle. Let me do that one more time. So I'm going to go this, like this, and like that. Okay? And then same thing. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to nudge it left. I want that little gap right there to be smaller. I'm going to grab this one and bump this one down because I want that gap to be a little bit bigger. And I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I'm not going to save that yet. But let me show you what I've done in 3D. Okay. I've created 3 different style staircases, right? So you've got that U-shaped step over here. It went up, it turned, it came back the other way. This was my L-shaped step. It went up, it turned right, and you can see here it, maybe looking at it in 3D like this is a little bit better. Okay? And then I have my original straight run staircase. Now, I want you guys to think back at SketchUp. How long that staircase would have taken you to generate in SketchUp. The railing, the handrails, the steps, the treads, right? It's a nightmare, and it literally took me just a couple clicks of a button, right? All right, so I'm going to go back to my lower level plan. I'm going to delete all 3 of these staircases, and I'm just going to generate one straight one. And just a tip for you guys: when you guys do staircases, don't try to get them exactly where you want them. Okay, we're just going to click here, and once you get it, you hit OK. Then you can take this staircase and you can move it. And you can just use your arrow keys to move it, and you get it where you want it. Right? So I'm just going to kind of pop mine right here. You guys can pop yours into a similar location. Elijah, the answer is yes, you will be able to do spiral staircases. I will show you how to do that one. I'll demo that later, but it's not that hard. You basically, because I have such a small amount of steps, there's a spiral staircase. It doesn't need to be a complete spiral, right? Because I only had 10 steps. If I would have made it a shorter tread, that's considered a spiral staircase. So again, imagine trying to do that in SketchUp. So I'm going to pause, let you guys have about 30 seconds to generate a staircase. You guys are just creating one, kind of put it up in that upper left-hand corner. So Elijah's asking, how do we make our 3D view transparent? So we go to 3D. Down bottom here on our view bar, you'll see one that has a scale where it says like 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. Next one will say, what do you want your detail level to be into? I keep mine on medium. And then the third button, or the third select thing, is our graphic display option. So I have mine currently on wireframe. Shaded's nice, but unfortunately with shaded, you can't really see anything on the inside. So currently what we're doing is we're just hitting wireframe. Tread depth, I made 7 inches. Riser height of 10, tread depth of 7. Okay, so we're actually not going to get both staircases in. It doesn't look like we're just not going to have time to do it. And once you have your first staircase in, what I want you to do is I want you to go to your entry-level floor plan, and you guys should see what I see. You guys should see, like, staircase. Is it really there? And I should be able to see my staircase, because right now, if somebody was trying to walk up the steps, they'd hit their head on the floor. hit their head on the ceiling, which in turn is the floor of what we're looking at. So we're going to modify this floor so that we create a hole in the floor so that our staircase has room to come up and through. Hope that made sense, what I just said. I think it made sense in my head. All right, so I've got to do this in two different spots. This is going to be a little bit difficult, but I need you guys to be in your 3D view for 1 second once your staircase is created. Then we're going to need to go back to our entry level. So we got to do this in two different ways. So first thing we got to do, I want to click on my floor, and up top you should see that your ribbon changed, and there's a little button here that says Edit Boundary. Need you to click on the button that says Edit Boundary, and then your toolbar should have went gray or like tealish colored, whatever you want to call that, light blue. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on Entry Level, and you should see that plum colored line going around the staircase. So check me out for a second. I think this will make sense. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab my line tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like try to draw a line directly like off the edge of this staircase. I'm just going to draw a line down. Then I'm going to hit the escape key, and I'm just going to draw a line from the edge of the staircase, and I'm going to take that over to my floor. I'll let you draw those two lines just like I just did. So I'll do it again for anybody that needs me to. So I'm going to hit this. Let me back all the way up in case anybody missed anything real quick. So in the 3D view, if what you currently has looks like this, it's this little third button down here. It's a little box. Hit not hidden line, hit wireframe. Select the floor. I'm going to hit the escape key. Select the lower floor, not the lowest floor. Select entry level floor. There's a button that says Edit Boundary. And you see here, like you can see the plum colored line, but we can't really work on it here. It's hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on my entry level. I'm going to grab my line tool. And I'm going to come to the top of my steps. Draw a line. And then I'm going to hit the escape key. I'm going to come to where that intersects. I'm going to take that line all the way to the edge of the floor. I'm going to hit the escape key again, and now I've got to show you a modify command. And this is a little complex. It'll only take me 10 seconds. This little button right here next to the rotate button is called the trim extend button. You can also just type PR on your keyboard. It'll get you the same command. Here's how this command works. I want to make a corner right here. So I click on the two portions of the lines I want to keep. Click, click. I got to do it again. I got to do it here. I want to make a corner. I want to keep this portion, so I click. I want to keep this portion. I click. I've got one more to do. I need to make this a corner now. So I want to keep this side of the line, so I click. I want to keep this. Click. And basically what you guys should see is that I've taken that floor, that original square floor, and I've basically nipped out that corner. I've just clipped out that little corner in the upper left-hand corner. Then I'm going to hit the check mark. Now what you should notice is you can actually see your floor, or you can actually see your steps going down. So let me look at this in 3D again. And it's a little hard to see. If you can start to conceptualize what's going on, we've cut that corner of the floor out. Does that make sense? All right, so my in-house guys, I don't want you to be late getting home or getting to your bus, so it's time for you guys to roll. I will put this up on YouTube if you guys need to finish it up. I'm literally going to take 3-4 more minutes with these guys, show them one thing. So if you guys drove, you're welcome to chill for a minute. What's that? Yeah, so you can hit save. Yep. So guys, this is a little hard to understand because of this wireframe. So I'm going to show you one more setting. Nick, you can check out like the last 5 minutes of the video. You'll be good. I'll put an announcement up on Canvas. You're welcome. You're welcome. See ya. Elijah, it's right here again. I hope maybe I answered it. It's this little button down bottom, and there's different settings here. It's this third button. You got the scale, you've got the detail, and then you've got the graphic display. And I've been using wireframe. I'm actually going to change off of wireframe. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it on wireframe for 1 second. I'm going to highlight the roof. I'm going to left click on it. And what I'm going to do is there's a little button here. If I right click, I can say hide in view, hide element. Now I hid my roof. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the next floor. I'm going to right click on that one and I'm going to say hide in view, hide that element. So now what I've done is I basically have hidden everything except for the other floor. So check this out. Now I'm going to look at it in shaded mode. And you guys can see what I've done. We clipped out that corner. Does that make sense? Okay. I think it looks pretty darn good. Right? We're getting there. And I know your designs are going to be way different than this. This is just teaching the Revit skills for now. We're basically going to do this again, move our way up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You guys are free to go whenever you need to pack up and go. I'm going to go ahead and step us through going up to the next 2 levels. If you guys feel good, you're basically just going to do the same thing floor up. If you want, hop on the video. Yeah, the next one I'm going to allow you to do any staircase you want. I'm going to allow these guys. Yeah, you can put it anywhere. It's kind of like the free one to get you guys doing it without really following me step by step by step. I'm going to step through these guys doing a spiral or a semi-spiral staircase. And then I'm going to show them how to cut the hole in the floor above that. And then we'll be done online. You guys are cool and check that out on the video as well. So I'm going to put it up on Canvas. I just told Nick I'll put an announcement up for the for the new playlist for the MicroLiving. All right, guys. So let me show you how to unhide those elements. Let's see here. It's so small on my screen. It's normally this. Here's my unhide. All right, bear with me for 1 second, guys at home. Because normally, okay, so there's a little like light bulb button because we're going to unhide those pieces that we just hid. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to right click on this. And I'm going to say unhide. I'm just going to highlight everything and say unhide elements. That should bring everything back, okay? If you guys see what I did here, there's a little there's a little light bulb next to the sunglasses at the bottom. And what I did was I basically just selected everything and hit right click and I said unhide. Then I hit unhide elements and it should work for you. And then you can uncheck that little box and it should be back to where it was. And if you look at it in a wireframe, it should look like everything's back in place. So now what we're going to do is we're going to generate another staircase. This time we're going to go from entry level to upper level. I'm actually going to go into my entry level. And this time we're going to do a spiral staircase. And then we're going to learn how to cut a more precise hole up on the second floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the staircase again. This time I'm going to hit this little circle where it says full step spiral. Okay. And I don't care where you guys put it. I want you guys to have a little, have a little flexibility. I'm just going to find some random spot here and I'm just going to drag it out. And if you see here, the further I drag it away from the point, more of an or less of an arc that's going for a bigger diameter. I'm going to try to hold it actually really, really, really tight to my, you're welcome. See you tomorrow. I'm going to try to hold it really, really tight. And I'm not going to really worry about like the angle. I'm just going to kind of put it in and hold it almost as tight as I can. And so that actually didn't work because it was too tight. So let's try that again. It'll tell you when you, Revit's pretty good about telling you when you mess up. There we go. So I have a staircase in there now. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And again, I could have modified it. I could have put it in a different spot. And I'm going to look at this thing in 3D again. And you'll see here I got this spiral staircase kind of heading upward. And now we're going to cut a hole for this one. So I'm going to hop back into, I'm going to highlight this floor again. I'm going to hit my edit boundary. And then I'm going to go into my upper level. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a hole for this. Now, have options, okay? Realistically, I could just make the hole the same exact shape as the staircase. I could do something a little bit differently, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I'm going to make the hole, you'll see what I'm going to do. You guys have different options, okay? You can do whatever you really want to do. You could do a circular hole where you pick the, you're going to have to find the center of that circle and generate that. Another thing you can do is you can actually say pick walls. Well, where do you want to make the hole? Well, I want to steal, should be able to steal this geometry. Is it going to, nope, it's not going to let me do it. Let me do pick line. There we go. If I use this little button that says pick lines, I can actually steal that, and what I got to do now is use that little trim tool, so TR, or hit this button. I can click on this and this to make a corner. I'm closing these gaps right here, so I'm going to click this and this to close, oh, sorry, I missed it, this and this to close that gap, and then lastly, I'm going to use this and this to close that gap, and that would create the exact hole the staircase would fit in. I'm just going to show you that, and then I'm actually going to undo that and do something a little bit differently. Must be a closed loop. Oh, see, I missed something right here, and Revit told me. I'm going to say continue, and then I'm going to hit trim on this and this. So now I've created a closed loop. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I'm going to show you this again to you in 3D. And let me rehide this. And let me shade view this so you can see what I did. Basically, I created that exact hole for that staircase by using that pick lines command. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to undo back a little bit, but I didn't want to actually do that. I just wanted to show you that we could do that. Let me go back to my upper level. What I am going to do is I'm going to just delete all these. What I am going to do is I am going to use the pick line command to steal that line because I don't know what that angle is. So by utilizing that pick line, I don't really have to figure anything out. I can literally just say, hey, I want to steal that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to generate some sort of like square shape off of this, right? So I'm going to kind of go like this, and if I want to make it like a overlooking balcony of some sort, right? So I'm just going to bring this down some arbitrary point, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a point from here, and I'm just going to drag this over to somewhere, and then I'm going to close up all these corners. So again, trim or TR. I want to close this and this. I want to close this and this because you can see here I have a gap again, right? So I'm closing this and this. And then lastly, I have a gap obviously between these two, so I'm going to trim this to this, right? So you can kind of see what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to create like a much larger stairway opening. And if I look at this again in 3D, let's go back to 3D. I'm going to hide this roof. I'm going to do this hiding a little bit differently. This is a little easier. Click on the roof. And then the little sunglasses, there's a button that says hide element. That's a better way of doing it. So don't do it the right click method. That's a little bit more complex. There we go. Now you can see that my created like this interesting looking opening. And some of you guys might think, well, if you walk past that and fell down the hole, you're going to die. Well, I don't know if you die, but you'd probably break a leg or break a neck or something. So we're going to solve that problem real quick, and we're going to be done for today. I'm going to double click back up on my upper level. And because Revit is so accommodating and so easy to use, there's a little button up here that says railing. I'm going to come here, and I'm literally going to start right here, take it to the corner. And again, you can see I'm going clockwise. There's a reason why I'm going clockwise. Get to here. And then I got to do another one from here, here, another one from here, here. I could have did this a little bit easier, and I just forgot to check a button. That's okay. And I'm going to go to here. And I think I need to go to here, but we'll leave that alone for now. Let's go ahead and hit OK. You can see I just kind of drew my purple line. Actually, I'm 99% sure I need to do this. I'm just going to do it while I'm here. So I'm going to do from here to here. Okay. Then I'm going to hit the OK button. It did some stuff. I'm going to look at this thing in 3D. And you can see what I've done is I just created my railing going around. There's a little artifacting going on right here. We're honestly not gonna. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'd have to go in and actually like edit it to make it work perfectly. We're not going to overly concern ourselves with little details. We're learning principles of how to do this. And so here we go. Now my stairwell hole is safer because I put a railing around it. That's pretty much where I'd like you guys to be, is to kind of have these two staircases done, learn how to chop these holes in, and then lastly put a railing on the upper level. And what I'm going to do is I am going to hit save and wait for that to do its little circle thing. And once it's done, it should look like that. I'm going to go ahead and close Revit. Revit did not ask me if I wanted to save, hence I know I did save.